Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO.
3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO retrospective podcast where we talk about all things 3DO, the 3DO company, the console, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is Threk. How you doing, Threk?
Oh, I'm doing all right, Bill. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a week. It's only 2 days in, but, you know.
I feel like you say that every week.
I do. I've been having a rough couple of months, but that's besides the point. We also have a guest. We've got a returning guest. Aaron's back. How you doing, Aaron?
It's for
Hello,
it's the three-peat.
Yep, it's me. Has it been 3 already? There's Trip.
I think so. Shanghai.
I always forget about Shanghai.
I never forget about Shanghai.
Yeah, it's just like 9/11. You never forget.
No,
Shanghai. It's the 9/11 of the 3DO.
No, it felt like this year with 9/11, it was the first time where like we went through the day and it's like, oh, nobody said anything about it.
I had the weird realization that I have, yeah, it's weird. I had the weird realization that like a couple of like people I work with were born after 9/11, and that just was a weird thought to me.
Yeah, I've had a few coworkers who are born after 9/11, and I don't know how I feel about that.
It's like that thing where I'm like, wow, they don't understand it because they literally did not experience it. It's just so weird to think about.
I think that shows that we're finally starting to, get past it, I think. But we're not here to talk about the geopolitical ramifications of 9/11. We're here to talk about video games.
We sure are.
Something much more important. God damn it.
Exactly. Thank you, boss man. So I guess before we get into the game for this week, like just before we recorded, Sony did their little state of play. So we can do a little recap on it. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was anything like mind-blowing, but I thought, I'd say it's one of the better state of plays they've had in a while.
Yeah, like I went into that thing with literally no expectations, and I came out being extremely hyped for the first time in a while. Granted, the reasons why I'm extremely hyped are kind of dumb, but
that's not dumb. It's not dumb at all.
It's not dumb, but it's very on brand for me.
Sure.
My reasoning.
Aaron, what'd you think?
I watched maybe half of it. The rest I learned about from Nave and Facebook and a bunch of other sources, as well as Bill. But
not being able to shut up about one certain announcement.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it wasn't. Trying to think of when the last really great Nintendo Direct was, but I guess the most recent one was pretty. I don't know. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, that Direct was probably better than this, but
that's true.
I think the general consensus with this state of play was everyone was like, it wasn't completely shit.
Yeah, because we've had a few of them that were complete shit, and this was not. So
they showed games. That was kind of like the big thing that everyone was like, we just want you to show games, and they did.
I mean, they did show the one thing we all expected, which was a remaster of a game that doesn't really need it with Horizon Zero Dawn. Though I did say to Bill off stream, I have a feeling these remasters that they're doing are more for the PC audience than the PlayStation audience. But they're thinking, we're putting all this work in to do it. Let's just throw it out to PS5. Why not? Kind of thing. And it's Horizon Zero Dawn. I played a bit of it a couple years ago, and honestly, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was okay.
It's just a very good action RPG on PlayStation.
Nothing wrong with that.
I saw that they're finally bringing The Last of Us Part 1 to the PS Plus, which is like their Game Pass kind of thing.
Yeah, it's they're trying to be Game Pass, but they're not going completely in the way like Xbox has with it.
I'm really surprised that hasn't been a staple in their PlayStation Plus lineup. why hasn't like one of the most talked about PlayStation games been included in their lineup for that fucking shit? I feel like that alone would probably get people to sign up for it, but
Yeah.
what the fuck do I know?
The way I look at PlayStation Plus is you buy PlayStation Plus to play online and to get a couple of its added features, and then that's just kind of a bonus.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas like Game
forgetting
Pass,
about that.
you buy to get like the collection of games, and then you realize, oh, I can play online too. That's cool.
Yeah, and if you have Ultimate, you get all those sweet fucking perks like 3 months of Discord for free or Nitro for free. You get all sorts of cool shit for like Smite and Warframe all the time, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
I
So
think it gave like
yeah.
yeah.
Plus isn't as good as Game Pass, but I feel like they're not trying to do like a 1-to-1 with it.
Yeah,
They're trying to give it its own spin, because like you see first party games kind of come in and out of it, you know. And then like they made a big deal out of like the Plucky Squire being added to that day one, but from what I've seen, that game really didn't hit the way people thought it was going to hit.
Yeah. So I have to
that
ask,
sucks.
what was you guys? Did you guys have that kind of audible like, well, this is awkward moment when you saw the Pal World trailer?
Very.
Yeah, because of the lawsuit that happened very recently.
When
yeah, I
that
was
popped
like,
up,
huh.
I was just like, oh, well, this is interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, from what I hear, they're going to fight him because from what I've seen, those patents that Nintendo were talking about, they filed them after the game was released.
Yeah, that I saw that coming out, and I was
hmm.
like,
So I'm like, if Power World's willing to fight them, they might win that case.
see, here's my theory. I think this is going to be another Bleem situation where Nintendo's just going to sue them until they die, basically.
Yeah, I could see that. It's weird they took so long to do it.
Well, the theory going around is right now they're trying to distract people from the Switch 2 leaks. Not sure how much I'd buy that.
That's not going to happen.
I know.
They could do much better stuff to distract us from the Switch 2 leaks than by fucking
They could.
putting that Pal World in a chokehold and shit.
You know the easiest thing they could do? Just show us the Switch 2.
I know.
Exactly.
You know,
the Switch 2,
which I think is
games.
Yeah, but I think that's happening sooner than we think.
I think honestly, like they could, but you got to remember, Nintendo still thinks it's 1995 most of the time. So,
oh, dude,
oh, they're releasing the Ultra 64 any day now,
and the 64 DD.
I was gonna say that too. God damn it. Tommy showed me this thing in our little chat. I think it was earlier today. It was either a patent or like some kind of blueprint or something for part of the Switch 2 or Super Switch or Ultra Switch or whatever the fuck they're gonna call it.
I think they're just gonna call it the Switch 2. I think they're gonna play it safe.
I want
missed opportunity. Yeah, Switch U is what I was hoping for. Hey man,
Slew.
Switch U. Go switch yourself. Anyway, they're gonna put like a detachable thing on the bottom. So fingers crossed, they're gonna have like a detachable screen, like a Wii U kind of thing, because that'd be pretty fucking tight. Or at least like a way to possibly detach the screen, or I don't know. Hopefully like a Wii U situation, so we can finally have DS and 3DS games on Switch. That'd be tight.
We'll see what they do. You know, and again, I think that unveiling will happen sooner than we think. I think it's like something's brewing, I think, but it's got to kind of hang in there. But yeah, State of Play. What were our highlights?
I mean,
to you?
for me, it was the Lunar remasters.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like
that
literally,
was cool to see. When I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, Jala's going to be very excited."
what's hilarious is after that came out, I immediately went to the Retro Hangover Discord and was like going nuts. And then I immediately went over to Jala's, was going nuts there. And what's hilarious is Josh from Still Living Podcast. He actually, me and him, like both like simultaneously dive bombed both those servers at the same time. We were like, it's like, how? I think we're thinking alike right now.
Yeah, that's cool to see. Like, I've never played Lunar. Like, I didn't learn about Lunar until probably like a couple years ago, really. So it's like, I mean, I've never been deep in the RPG scene, so it's one of those where it's like I don't understand it.
Yeah,
but my guess would be it's just a really good RPG.
It's
like,
they're really solid turn-based RPGs. They have that mystique because they were like the premier Sega CD like games for a long time. Like they really kind of like they really understood what made the Sega CD actually cool. Like they had the full-on voice acting, the CD quality music, the anime cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like for the time, they were really impressive. Nowadays, you probably, if you've never really played them and you jumped into them now, you probably wouldn't really see what made them so special at the time. But besides that, they are just really good RPGs. And the reason why they're so acclaimed too is the fact that they're just not easy to play because, I mean, the second game alone only was released twice on the Sega CD and then the PlayStation, and both versions are absurdly expensive. The original game got like 5 remakes, but like most of the ones after the PlayStation one aren't really worth playing, and the original versions are also absurdly expensive. So it's one of those series that's, because it's so hard to find, and it's never been properly re-released in America anyways. So it's one of those just things where it's like they're so hard to find that everyone's, now that they're fine. It's kind of like the Earthbound situation. Like now that they're out, like it's going to be a big deal.
Well, I look forward to checking them out. I mean, hopefully they come out and they're decently priced, because you never know quite with remasters what they're going to go for in price. But
hoping for 30.
I think 30 would be perfect. I'd probably jump in at 30.
Yeah,
it depends on. So it's Gung Ho Entertainment's publishing them, and I haven't really seen a ton of their stuff recently.
They did what was it called? That Bubblegum Ninja fucking game. They did that, and I think Gung Ho also published, if I'm not mistaken, the Grandia HD collection. I'm pretty sure
They did.
Okay.
Another Game Arts game.
Oh, duh. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Game Arts. Is that how it goes? Is that how it sounds?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
The thing with Lunar that's been like the biggest hiccup is we mentioned a bit off camera, but the original Lunar games were obviously famously brought over by Working Designs, and the CEO of Working Designs is kind of a prick, and he won't he's very like, he basically holds onto those localizations with an iron fist. So it seems like they're finally just retranslating and dubbing them just from scratch, which admittedly the Working Design scripts have not aged the best. I like them nostalgically, but there's some stuff in there that's like, oh, this was definitely a 90s product.
It's quite a few of those.
Yeah.
Talking about like Arsenio Hall and the OJ trial and stuff. I was trying to rack my brain for like various 90s stuff. Why did I just say Alanis Morissette? Yes, and Roseanne. Fuck, we just talked about this.
We did. But yeah, it's cool to see Lunar's coming back. The Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2. Though I think that trailer got leaked this morning, so I saw it this morning at work. That's cool to see that those games are finally coming back. But from what I hear, hopefully they revamp the controls, because I'm told those games don't play very well, especially by today's standards. So
the Soul Reaver, the original Soul Reaver, that was like a technical marvel when it came out. Like it was famous for like, it had no loading screens once you got into the actual game. Although when you play it now, you're like, there's a lot of really long hallways in this game.
It's like when you play through like American Wasteland, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. They're like, oh, there's no loading, but there are those gaps in between each major section where you can just mess around.
It's like a more primitive version of like Jak and Daxter 1, because Jak and Daxter 1 still has like the most impressive like zero loading times in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Even though if you move really fast in those games, you can actually trip because you beat the load window.
That's pretty cool.
Which is fun.
That's pretty cool. Let's see. They're adding Keanu Reeves' voice to Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. I will let you all know what they do if they actually got him in. We'll see if they actually got him in the studio to do new lines, because what I thought would be funny is if they just took his lines from the movie and just superimposed them into the game, and they don't relate to anything.
There's no context. There's like no proper context. It's just like I'm Keanu Reeves doing the voice of Shadow, and he's just like shooting. He's got a face, like shooting a cop.
He's got a. They have to have him redo all of David Humphrey's best, just like stupid lines from Sonic Adventure 2. Just be like, I am the coolest.
Or honestly, the best outcome would just be you see Shadow and he's just like, Johnny fucking Silverhand. That'd be great. Let's see. Some Shredder's Revenge DLC, which is cool. We saw Sakaguchi talk about Fantasian. That was cool. There was a bunch of Dragon Age Veilguard, which I'm assuming it looks like a Dragon Age. I've never played them, so I don't know. Alan Wake 2 is getting some DLC called The Lake House, which looks really cool. I still need to
Hmm.
play Alan Wake 2, so.
Yep.
Hitman
wasn't-
VR looks pretty cool.
I hated when the fucking VR exclusive popped up because I was like, well, that's something I won't play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
some
couple of
cute.
those. I mean, it was cool to see like Hitman there, but you know, some Lego Fortnite bullshit, Dynasty Warriors. Shout out to Novel Console Chris. He loves Dynasty Warriors games. Monster Hunter Wilds.
Hunter.
Yeah, dude.
I have, what is it? Monster Hunter World down there, and I've never played it.
You
I
need
have
to get
Rise.
I think Rise is on Game Pass.
Yeah,
It is. 'Cause
I
that's
still
how
haven't downloaded it.
I got it initially, and then I bought the Switch version just because I was like, this is a game I just don't like playing on PC.
Yeah. So I've never touched Monster Hunter. I don't know what the big deal is, but you know,
There,
I mean, Aaron, if you want to do it, we can
Let's
do it.
So you, me, my buddy Alex, who goes by Anubis Hero, and then I know Matt, Bill's boy. Boom, 4-man team right there.
That'd work for me. If you all got Monster Hunter World for the Xbox, I'm down to do it. Or I'll download Rise from Game Pass.
maybe I'll get it on PC again. I don't know.
Does it have crossplay?
Yeah, if you have it through Game Pass on PC, it's crossplay. And
Oh, good.
you can just pop in a controller too, can't you, Bill? Just pop a controller.
Yeah,
into
I did
laptop.
that with Rise for that brief period where I tried to play Rise.
See, I feel like everyone says it's a game that's better to play with people. Like
definitely
is.
soloing it can be a rough experience. So
Well, there's not a lot of story, and especially in the older ones, there's not. The newer ones have some story, and it's mostly grinding the game.
Which is awesome. It's always so much fun to do because instead of just like grinding, random encounters or just like fetch quests and shit like that, you go through places, you kill monsters, and it's fun to like to learn about what each monster is weak against and try to with your buddies kind of try to scrap together armor that is strong against whatever element the monster uses and try to piece together weapons piece together weapons with elements that the monsters are weak against and try to track it down, and then you just gang bang it until it's dead. Or you can capture them too. Capture them for more materials, and yeah. It's
sounds
awesome.
cool. Sounds
It's
cool.
awesome.
They're those games that I'm like, every time I try to play them, I'm like, these are really good, but then I just like get distracted by something else, and then I never go back.
Yeah,
We'll have to stream it.
that'd be a fun stream.
That'd be a cool
That'd
stream.
be fun to do.
It-
All right, let's.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Lego Horizon. Who gives a shit? Stellar Blade and
That lady was very hyped about it. Like the
she
lady in the
was.
thing.
She was hyped as shit. It's crazy. Let's see. Stellar Blade and Nier. Now that's a crossover made in fanboy heaven.
Nice.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Some PS Plus stuff. Whatever. But
We had Dino Crisis and shit, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Dino Crisis and what was the other? It was another obscure PS1 game that everyone loves. I can't remember right now.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But the big one, the big game was we finally saw the Ghost of Tsushima sequel, Ghost of Yote.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's a-
right.
It's a big mountain, I think.
It's a mountain in Japan. It's from a
Yeah.
certain era.
Ghost of Big Mountain. Ooh.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. And game looks very pretty. Looks very cool. I did not play Tsushima when I had my PS4, but when I do get my PS5, I'll probably end up playing through both of these because
It's
looks pretty
to
good.
me, it's the perfect example of like Sucker Punch is like I always say is like the most underrated studio at Sony.
Yeah,
Because they're a one game studio and they literally just take their time and release it when it's fucking done. And that's why they've never had a bad game.
and I think also being underrated means people just kind of leave them alone.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That they can like sort of curate these games because I know you love Rocket Robot on Wheels. I love the Sly Cooper trilogy.
too.
Oh, I love the Sly Cooper trilogy. It's still my favorite PlayStation series.
Sly 2 is I think one of my favorite PS2 platformers.
Yeah, same here. And then the Infamous games, I've never played them, but I know people really enjoy them, or at least some of them.
Best X-Men games ever made.
Yeah. So and then with this, and then yeah, see Ghost of Tsushima come out. It's cool. So Yeah, so overall it was fine. It's all good, you know.
You forgot about the color chroma PS5.
Oh yeah, I forgot
what?
about that.
They showed off these like color chroma colored. You can get a green, a blue, or a yellow PS5. It's sparkly.
Hold on. That sounds cool.
I mean, they look nice, but I'm not buying another PS5. I might buy the controller. The green controller did look nice.
I mean, are they going to do them as like just faceplates so you can swap them out?
Oh, if they do that, then that would be sweet.
That would be sweet. Yeah. So
If I do, if I end up getting the PS5, I'll probably get that sparkly blue one. And that Fortnite controller is stupid.
yeah, this is a dumb controller. So, but yeah, it was like my one sort of take on the whole thing was that I'm surprised this Ghost of Yotei. I feel like I'm always going to say it wrong. I feel like that game should have been in the PS5 Pro video to be like, you know, look, this is a new game showcasing the power of the PS5 Pro or whatever. And I think that video would have gone down a lot better if they actually showed a brand new game utilizing the power of it. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe they knew that the event was going to go bad with the price, that they didn't want to taint the game and just waited till later.
Yeah, that's possible. Or if they knew the state of play was coming, and they're like, if we don't have like a new game announcement, that's gonna tank.
True.
It's already botched. Let's botch it further.
I like the idea. I love the vision of like Sucker Punch like saw the price and they went, "You're not taking our game down with this."
that might have been the original plan to like have this in there, and Sucker's like, can you like move it over, please?
Can you not ruin our game launch, please?
We'll swang our game over here.
Swanging. I keep seeing this. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it by now, but there's this meme where it's like there's different little points, and it's like, we are so back. We're so dead, we're so back, we're so dead, but it's like Sony and all their shit they're going through.
Yeah, it was Concord, we're fucked. Astrobot, we're so back. PS5 Pro, we're fucked. And then State of Play, we might be okay.
Yeah, and then Ghost of Yotei reveal, we're so back. Yeah.
Well, it's like State of Play, we evened out, and then Ghost of Yotei, it's like, oh, maybe.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Give it a week.
I'm sure it'll be a good game. I trust Sucker Punch. Yeah, we'll give it a week. We'll see what happens. But yeah. You know, decent little presentation, you know, nothing that crazy, but it was fine.
The amount of negative people on Twitter, though, was great. They're all like, it was a waste of time. I'm like you'll never be happy. You'll never be happy.
Yeah. Chunks of it were, but whatever. To be fair, like every presentation we see from like any company, there's always dead air in there. There's always a game or two that most people are like, I don't give a fuck.
Like the Funko Fusion garbage in that last Nintendo Direct. By the way, did you see that review? I think it was like Kotaku.
Yeah, where it somehow crashed on them like 21 times. Yeah,
they were like, we tried to review Funko Fusions, but it soft locked on us 21 times. What a fucking piece
amazing.
Of shit.
Who would have thought that game? Yeah. Someone's gonna make us play that. Someone's gonna make us play that one of these days.
Yeah, we if it has online co-op, we should just to see what happens.
We should stream it.
I bet they'll probably cover it on Gaming Together, so hit them up with with that game. Much to their chagrin,
I would not be surprised if Nave was like, "We got to play this game."
Yeah. Oh boy.
All right. So yeah, that was that. Tokyo Game Show's still going, or no? That starts tomorrow. So.
Oh, does it?
Ooh.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get some kind of Nintendo announcement during Tokyo Game Show, but
8 p.m. Are you kidding me, man?
It's Tokyo. They're over there.
Oh, duh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is an Xbox show at Tokyo Game Show this year, which is interesting.
Oh, I will say though, the State of Play being at 6, I was happy with because I actually got to watch it for once.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was 6 p.m. until I was like on my lunch break at work being like, oh, I should probably watch this. And then they said, oh, it's not till 6. I'm like, well, shit. I guess I'll watch Sonic Central, which was a big ball of nothing.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was fucking nothing. There was nothing there worth your time.
We got chili dogs.
They didn't even show chili dogs.
That's bullshit.
They just had a weird skit with like a Lego Sonic at a beach. Talking to like Takashi Ezuka, being like, "Oh, we gotta talk about the Lego Sonic stuff." He's like, "Yeah, whatever."
I love whenever they bring out Takashi Iizuka because he's always just there, and he's just like, "Yeah, this is what I do now."
Yeah, basically. Trying to think, they're doing like a weird DC Sonic comic crossover.
I saw that. I mean, Ian
which is
Flynn's writing it, so-
which is starting next year and will go all the way into 26. And when I heard that, I'm like, I don't fucking care. I could not care less.
It'll probably be good because Ian Flynn's writing it, but that's really about it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be. I'm sure if people care, they'll have a great time. I just want more games. All right. Like I keep hearing a Sonic Heroes remaster. Give me that. Okay.
Bring, for the love of fucking Christ, please bring back Sonic Riders and give us another Sega crossover racing game. Fucking please, God.
Aaron's like the one.
Port the Kinect one.
No, please don't. You won't be able to. You can't even play it. You can't get through the damn menu.
Hey, if you give it controller support, it'll probably work just fine.
Yeah, probably.
Sonic Riders Zero Gravity was so much fun. But then Sega was like, hey, I mean, this game is good, but like, fuck it, because there's other stuff.
Sonic Riders, to me, it was the best game to come out of the 15th anniversary, which says a lot. But it was also like the biggest problem with Sonic Riders is the fucking learning curve in that game is so fucking steep. Like,
once you master it, oh god, it felt good,
once you figure it out, it's really fun. But holy fuck, is that game hard to fucking master?
For real,
it was very weird. Yeah,
I still will say one last Sonic tangent. Calling the remaster for Generations, I've said this before, but Sonic X Shadow Generations, that is the riskiest Google search you will ever have. I'm just gonna say,
googling it right now.
Maybe that's why they named it this, so it would redirect to the game as opposed to all the other stuff.
No, it
won't. Man,
is it wonderful?
I wish. Can I share my screen on this? Oh,
I think you can.
Oh boy,
is it porn?
Here we go. No, it's hold on.
How far do you have to scroll down to find the porn?
Not far at all. Look at this.
Right,
look at that.
Is this safe for work?
I don't know.
Oh, no, that's not a good sign.
All right, it looks.
See.
I'll give it a second. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yep. So enough of that. But yeah, exactly what I expected.
Oh, did you just Google it?
Oh
yeah, just Google Sonic X Shadow, and it was on the top, the very top row of search results and the image results. I mean,
is it this Reddit one?
It might have been
DeviantArt.
Sonic X Shadow images.
The people who actually come here for 3DO are like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep, Reddit. Yep, and it's Sonic is blushing.
Oh yeah.
This one goes to Will. I know Will's gonna love this.
Oh god, yeah. Shout out to you, Will. You piece of shit.
He's our #1 fan.
I love Will.
He has detailed comments every week.
He was talking mad shit in the novel console server, and I was like, "You're not even gonna tag him."
And then he tagged me, and I'm like, "What? What's going on?"
Yeah.
That's funny. All right.
Yes, sir, Bob.
So
yeah.
Now that we're
Sonic. Well, if anyone's curious, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, I will be playing and reviewing that on Fine Time this year. So stay tuned.
Nice. Now, on to our regular scheduled program.
You've got to add like a super like 90s like TV jingle, like or
like back to your regularly scheduled programming.
I got
like ABC or something, like from ABC.
I got lo-fi beats.
Yes.
Now for something completely different.
So we're talking about a game for this episode. No one has the long box, unfortunately, because this game is actually kind of expensive. But I do have the disc for it.
Nice.
Where the hell did you pull that disc out?
Oh, my
from
little
your pants? Oh, okay.
Buy your CDs of loose games. But yeah, so we're talking about Samurai Shodown.
It is expensive for a good reason, though.
Yes, it is
because it was on the 3DO.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, it's you got to build. You do it. It's your show. You do it.
It's a port of the arcade fighter by SNK. Oddly enough, ported by Crystal Dynamics of all companies.
I didn't know that. Oh, holy shit!
Oh yeah, the Legacy of Kain people made this one.
Well, at this point, I don't even think they'd made Gex
Yeah.
yet. At this point,
Yeah. Oh, there
Um,
isn't a W in Showdown. Oh, when I
Nope.
when I found my legitimate backup copy of this game, there wasn't a W.
My legitimate back.
There wasn't
You
a W.
almost had me.
There wasn't a W, and I thought like, oh, they misspelled it. But now
No,
I'm
they did
looking
on
at it, I'm like,
purpose.
oh, there isn't a W.
oh,
Oh,
well, I
'Cause
spelled
I
it
don't-
wrong
I
in the
don't-
title.
because I don't know jack shit.
Well, the thumbnail is now bad, but I'm not changing it. So.
Well, hey, we've now put the W in Showdown. But anyways, this game I don't know anything about it because it's an SNK game, and unless that SNK game involves hitting the green, the 18 holes, or potentially slugs made of aluminum, I don't know jack shit.
See,
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
SNK is like one of those developers that like they make so many intense, like awesome, like high action, like arcade games, but they've kind of like it's weird. They're a company that went bankrupt. Their founder started his own company and then just rebought his original company back and just regained the name. That's why
That
they
happened
were,
recently.
No, this was
No, it
back
was a while
back in the
ago.
90s. So what happened was SNK went under, and then the founder started the company Playmore. And then after SNK went under, he basically rebought the SNK name and pretty much all of his the company's intellectual property back. Renamed
We're
the company.
so back.
Yeah, he renamed he renamed it SNK Playmore, and it was SNK Playmore for years. And then like a couple of years back, they dropped the Playmore, and it's just back to SNK.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I recognized the SNK Playmore thing. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I didn't know anything about that.
It was
SNK is
basi-
a total blind spot for me.
So SNK to
There's
me
some
was
great
always they made some of my favorite fighters back in the day. Like I love the King of Fighters. I love Samurai Shodown, just all sorts of them back in the day. But Samurai Shodown to me is interesting because this game was originally released in '93 in arcades. Was then quickly ported to the Neo Geo AES, obviously. Then like ports are kind of spotty for a little bit. We got the 3DO port in '94 made by Crystal Dynamics. There was a Game Boy port, a Neo Geo CD port, Super Nintendo, Game Gear, Master
Game
Genesis.
Gear, you say?
I have not seen this one in the wild.
Let's see.
But I've noticed in my experience of the Game Gear collecting, which could be its own episode, that there's a very specific set of games for Game Gear I see in the wild, mainly Sonic 2. All the more interesting stuff is like damn near impossible to find out in the wild. But the good thing is it's a cheap console to collect for. So if you search the eBay, most games aren't too badly priced.
Yeah.
I think the rarest game I've seen out in the wild was, well, I did get Tails Adventure from a dude in a store. And he also had like Rystar there.
That's
There's another place that had that Axe Battler Golden Axe like Zelda clone, which I need to go back and get at some point. So, but yeah, I did not know Samurai Shodown had a Game Gear port, and it's not terribly priced.
No, it's about $50.
That's fine.
So one interesting thing about the 3DO port in particular, most of the console ports for Samurai Shodown, the original, are kind of neutered in certain ways. Like a lot of them don't have. They don't have the blood. They're missing characters. The music's not as good. The 3DO port is near perfect to the arcade. Its biggest downfall with a lot of people is its load times are a little much at times if you're playing on the original system.
That would make sense because when I was playing my legit backup copy, I noticed there were some like interesting places for load times, but they didn't get in the way that much.
Yeah, like to me, the fact that it has pretty much all the content, the blood, the violence, the music, and it plays very well for as well as you can on the 3DO controller. It's a fun port. It's definitely not Street Fighter 2 level of like perfection.
Yeah.
It's very close though.
Mm.
Very close.
Like, there's a thing. It's very hard to like explain why I think an SNK fighter is just super good. To me, like the thing that I noticed right away with this game, especially, is like the graphics are so like detailed and like nice.
Yep.
Right off the bat.
Oh yeah, like SNK has a way of drawing character sprites. It like they're like just so detailed and fascinating to look at. Like it doesn't matter what game, even like the Metal Slug games, like all those sprites are just like full of personality, and all these like little details. And yeah, in Samurai Showdown, I really liked the variety of the character designs. I thought they all looked really, really cool. And it tries to do, I think, the Street Fighter thing where they all have their own little bit of personality. Like when you win or lose, they'll like say a thing,
Yeah. Another thing the 3DO version actually introduced was it was the first version to use like the camera zoom feature where you could actually like zoom in on like combat actions, which apparently is like a mainstay in the series now.
Yeah.
See, when I was playing the game, it occasionally would zoom out.
Yeah, that's part of it as well. Like it'll zoom the camera, like is like very fluid and dynamic.
But I kind of hated it because there was really no reason for it to zoom out other than the characters were more than this far apart from each other. Like they get about here and then they just like shrink. It's like, guys, what are you doing?
It was definitely the first game to try it. They've definitely got better with it in recent years.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Samurai Shodown 2 is generally considered the favorite amongst like anybody who knows the series and follows it. Samurai Shodown 2 is one of the best ones in there. What's really weird too about Samurai Shodown having those loading screens, like, so I guess first off, I emulated this on my little emulator handheld, and it was not as big of a bitch to get this working as it was with Tripped, because apparently, like, even so with the Samurai Shodown, even if you have the right, like a good copy of the ROM file, you have the right BIOS, all that shit, no matter what, it's not going to load the music or the backgrounds. You have to enable this certain like hack inside of RetroArch just for Samurai Shodown, because there's just so much to this fucking game, like packed into a disc. I think it's like a RAM hack, or like I forget exactly what it's called, but
oh yeah, if I remember correctly, Samurai Shodown in RetroArch is one of the games that in the Opera emulator, if you go into the core options, you have to turn it on and like to play the game. It's one of those handful of games that for some reason runs kind of weird on the 3DO.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious. I played on my FC10 and didn't have any issues. I wonder if it actually runs better on the FC1.
I mean, it might.
Because the FC1 has more RAM.
And the other thing I was going to mention too, like it's weird, like this being on the 3DO, the load times weren't terrible, but then you go to like say the Neo Geo CD and you try to play like fucking whatever Fatal Fury, goddamn, try to play like Fatal Fury.
Frame.
Yeah, try to play pretty much any game on Neo Geo CD, and you're gonna come across load times that are just fucking stupid. I think it was Fatal Fury or another fighting game.
The Neo Geo CD infamously had a 1-speed CD drive, like it was slow. Mm-hmm. It's still faster than the fucking Hyperscan, though, if anyone remembers that thing.
I do remember.
I think I remember that.
I never owned a Hyperscan, but I remember walking through like Walmart and seeing that thing. I think it wasn't in the video game section; it was in the toy section.
It was because
it was Mattel, right?
Yeah, Mattel attempted consoles again.
Mattel's their fucking consoles are the Hyperscan and the Intellivision. Like, not a good track record, man.
Yeah, the Hyperscan infamously, like, that thing like loaded for everything, and the load times were so shit. Like, you had to load to like do a finishing move, but you need to do a finishing move, you need to have the card, and like scanning fucking sucked.
Aaron, who the fuck is that?
I thought it was Lindsay Lohan at first, but then I looked really closely, and it's not.
No, that's
some chick.
That's just some person. Yeah,
that's a lady playing a Hyperscan. She totally wasn't paid to sit there,
dude.
I remember seeing the Hyperscan back in the day, and in the back of my head, I thought, oh, I feel like it honestly was an example of me getting FOMO because I thought I was like missing out on this like cool thing. And then I realized I totally was not.
See, I remember
Opposite of
because
FOMO.
I remember when the commercials came out for that because God, that was like mid 2000s, so still like children at that point.
Oh, look at this. On eBay, you can buy the system with the box. It's a little torn with 1 game, 9 cards, a card pack, some extra stuff for $100.
I'd
I'd
rather
spend
buy
it on hookers.
I'd rather buy 3DO games.
At least I get something out of the hookers, but you don't really get anything out of the hyper scan because those games suck butt.
You get a little bit of their soul.
That's yeah. You lure the hookers over with money, and you have your little like Necronomicon. You're like, your soul is now mine. Close it. Big
No,
dust.
you lure them in with your little hyper scan, and then you close it on them because it was like one of those like closable.
Yeah,
things.
it was clamshell. The control
Scan their souls. It'll be like Yu-Gi-Oh with like the little like soul cards, but it's the shitty hyper scan ones.
And it's gonna take them, and it takes a long time.
It's just like butterscotch, and it's got her face on it.
See, I remember the commercials for the hyperscan. I remember because like that was back in the day where like parents didn't know any better, and I remember my mom would always be like, "Oh, that looks interesting." I'm like, "No, it doesn't." Like, no, it doesn't at all.
That looks just like a Nintendo. No, Mom, that's the fucking hyperscan.
See, I wouldn't have been at the time. I wouldn't have been upset if somebody bought this for me, but looking back, I'm like, man, I'm so glad they didn't.
Oh,
I always just remember like, well, like the majority of the games on it are Marvel games, which I find really interesting. Like Marvel was really big into the hyperscan.
Like the only games I know for it are that X-Men game and like a Ben 10 game.
Oh, yeah, the Ben 10 platformer that James Rolfe tried to play, and he couldn't get far because he didn't have the cards.
Our Lord and Savior, James Rolfe.
He's so angry.
He is. Take a chill pill, James.
He's usually justified.
Yeah. There's only 5.
Yeah.
There's only 5 hyperscan games, but they all have like dozens of cards. They have so many cards. I thought you'd be into this, Aaron.
I mean, I was until I figured out that like you can buy better things with $100. You could buy
That's true.
other cards.
You could buy an actually fun thing.
I could
exactly.
I could buy a brand new video game and have $30 left over for something. Maybe an indie game, I guess.
You could buy that
for lunch.
You could
That's
buy that
just about the price of lunch these days.
Go buy a 6-pack and a pound from Taco John's. Listeners, that is a Midwestern taco chain here in Iowa. It's very cheap,
you could get 30 giant Cheez-It crackers from Taco Bell.
You could
okay.
I had one. I tried one of those today.
Trash bag filled with them.
It's a thing.
You could buy one of those. You could buy the Ouya that's been sitting in the Target clearance rack at my local Target for like a month.
Oh, of course, the Ouya.
I'm shocked you didn't buy that.
It's probably been there forever, and they just don't know that it's a paperweight now.
How much is that thing there? Like $10?
It was like $30 in clearance for some reason.
Come on, get it, Bill.
What the fuck is it? That fucking controller is so stupid.
The Ouya was stupid to begin with.
It's stupid, dude. Yeah, the whole thing's dumb.
Stupid.
I remember seeing an Ouya back when it first came out, and I'm like, it's just a phone, but you play it on the TV.
It's like giving the N-Gage like a HDMI port.
Even the N-Gage was more creative than the Ouya.
That is true.
You still got to you still got to turn it off, take out the battery, plug in the HDMI, somehow fit the battery around that, turn it back on, bam.
And you can't fit a game, and hopefully you put the game in before you did all that.
Oh fuck yeah! Then you gotta drain the conduits or whatever.
And then you get your phone call, and you have your taco on the side of your head. It's great.
What's up, Ma? I can't talk right now. I'm on the HDMI. I can't talk for long.
I'm trying to play Sonic.
I'm playing Tomb Raider on the N-Gage over here. Get out of here.
You doing what? It's George's mom from Seinfeld. She's like, you're raiding what?
What? In my house?
I leave for 1 second and my son treats his body like an amusement park.
So
Yeah,
going
sorry,
back
Bill.
to.
Oh yeah, we're
back to
talking about Samurai Showdown.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Interestingly, I'd mentioned earlier the 3DO version is like one of the only ones that leaves the blood and fatalities and fatality graphics intact. As a result, a lot of retailers refuse to carry this copy.
Oh really? That's
That's
weird. When I was
stupid.
playing the game, I didn't think it was that like excessively violent.
Yeah, but the 90s
It's got
were
some.
I mean,
different.
compared to like fucking Mortal Kombat, where you're like literally ripping people's heads off
Ooh,
and like gripping people in half with their bare hands. It's like this is just you're hitting people with swords, but it's like a little bit of blood comes out. Like it's not that.
ooh, but hold on there. Have you seen the cool? I mean, I'm sure the fatalities in Mortal Kombat are way gorier than they are in Samurai Showdown, but some of the cool, I forget what the names are for the fatalities that you do in Samurai Showdown, but they're pretty fucking cool. You cut dudes like arms off and shit, or if you do one of the cool ones where their health gets to like a certain like sliver or like point in their health bar and you can kill them instantly with one move, like those are pretty sweet. Like you'll see someone just stab right through someone's fucking stomach, and it's pretty cool.
It's definitely so. I don't know if I'd say it's the best fighter on 3DO just because that Street Fighter port is really good. It's certainly better than Way of the Warrior. Like that's not even a competition.
That's a low bar, my friend.
I want to see all the other ones that are on there. Oh, Primal Rage.
Primal Rage is on 3DO.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
There's-
Oh, it's not on my list of games. We're gonna. Oh fuck it. I gotta add it in.
Google
Yeah.
only has 4 fighting games listed for 3DO. It's got Sam Show, Primal Rage, Super Street Fighter 2, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
I guess
Wait.
Way of the Warrior doesn't even rate.
Oh.
There's
not worth
also all the Japanese anime fighters because I have the Sailor Moon fighting game and the Yu Hakusho fighter.
Yeah.
Yu Yu Hakusho Fighter. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
Urameshi.
awesome. Yeah. Shut up, Urameshi. Spirit Sword, get longer. Stupid.
I'm just
Oh,
getting
I
the
love
image
that. I
of
love that
fucking.
show.
I just got the image of Yusuke slapping the shit out of Keiko for no reason.
Cool bars.
Or like after it was
bars.
like I think it was like during the tournament arc where he just like slaps her ass for some reason, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, there's the point where she's like comatose because she's like in like fucking having like a fucking moment, and she's like Keiko, we don't have time for this. He just starts slapping the shit out of her.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what
You
the
showed
fuck?
me
God
that.
damn,
Yeah,
dude.
It's such a
Uh,
what the fuck scene.
it is. But yeah. We'll eventually talk about that Yu Yu Hakusho fighting game. But yeah, Samurai Showdown. It was weird because when I was playing it, my first thought was, oh, is this like one of those more like techie kind of fighting games where it's like a little bit more involved? And I'm like, if that's the case, then I'm fucked here. We're fucked, boys. But then as I started playing it, I found myself kind of figuring it out and getting into a groove a little bit. And you know, I got close to the we're so back, but I never quite got there.
SNK fighters are always kind of in that weird like middle ground where they're technical, but they're not like intimidatingly technical. Like
yeah, they're not
like an
Blaze Blue.
Yeah, they're not an
Oh,
Arc Systems
yeah.
fighter.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Never for me. But yeah, I found myself getting into it and having a decently solid time with it.
I know
Honestly, a
me
little bit
and,
more than Street Fighter 2, but that probably was just because like Street Fighter 2 is Street Fighter 2, you know? Like it's a great game, but I've just never been a Street Fighter guy. But this was like a brand new fighting game experience for me, and I found myself enjoying it, you know, like that weapon-based combat and learning how to like chain different like combos and all that was pretty neat. I didn't figure out how to block. I tried my damnedest and I couldn't figure it out.
Hold back.
I did. And
You
it
have to
wouldn't
do it.
block.
You have to do it at like the perfect time.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
It's kind of got like a parry system kind of thing where
Yeah.
like, you got to like perfectly time it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, fair enough. And then there were like some special moves. You could double tap to run. Like, you know, I found myself kind of figuring it out or kind of getting into it a little bit.
I had
So-
I had recruited Alex to do some multiplayer, and multiplayer is very fun too. Like I mean, I can still troll Alex by unplugging her whenever I feel like it, but because the 3D fucking controllers are stupid, but I love them.
You better watch that, dude. She's gonna poison your water one of these days.
She probably already has.
Oh,
No, she won't
No.
be. She won't because she needs me to feed her cat every now and then. So
Mm.
She's gonna jam an N64 down your throat.
Oh no.
well, no, that would require her to touch one, and she doesn't want to do that.
I feel like she'd like Samurai Showdown if it was on the Jaguar. Then I think she'd love it.
She actually really did like Samurai Showdown.
Yeah,
I mean,
I found myself liking it too. Like it was a pretty damn good game.
It's so smooth. Like it's got that very snappy controls. Like it just has that SNK feel to it.
I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I googled fighting games for Jaguar, and Bubsy showed up on there. So I don't trust Google.
You're fighting
anymore.
for your life on that one.
I mean, you got
Kasumi Ninja.
Kasumi Ninja. I think Primal Rage is also on.
Oh yeah, Primal Rage. I mean, we were talking about sex workers earlier. Primal Rage, man, got around.
Oh, there's a game called Fight for Life. I think it was Thrak that said you fight for your life, and Bubsy, you were almost there, bro.
I was very close. Yes.
Yeah, fight for life is what it's called.
There's that Double Dragon 5, which is a fighting game, and
Shadow Balls.
And that game's not good either.
Ultra Vortec.
Oh yeah, Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. That's a fighting game. For some reason, that's on the Jaguar. That's also on the Game Gear. Trying to think what other fighting games. There's not that many fighting games. Well, there's not that many games for the Jaguar in general. But yeah, for 3DO, it's like Super Street Fighter 2, Samurai Showdown, Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho, 3D Balls.
Oh yeah, we forgot about Balls. Forgot about Balls.
I can never forget Balls.
The fucking because that was our first experience with a pole, and then Aaron hijacked our pole, and immediately. Balls.
Yeah, when I reviewed that game, I was really fucking sick.
I remember that. Yeah,
this botch from the beginning. Yeah, you pulled a Sony PS5 Pro reveal. You were like, "This is fucked from the very beginning." Like, it's just.
I looked like Mark Cerny.
I love that poll because I put like three. The poll was literally Street Fighter 2, Samurai Showdown, Way of the Warrior, and then I put Balls 3D as the joke answer, and of course everyone picked the joke answer.
That's why we're never doing a poll again.
Yeah.
When you put some like Balls with a Z 3D, like obviously I'm gonna vote for that. Like,
yeah. But then like everybody just jumped on and I was like, great.
Fuck. Yeah.
Sorry, Bill, I love you.
It's fine. It was a fun episode. It was a fun episode.
What am I
it's
nothing?
hot in here, dude. Holy shit.
But,
what am I nothing?
Anything else in Samurai Showdown?
I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't know if it's going to make me want to play every single SNK fighter ever made because there's like 3.5 bajillion of them. But
yeah,
if you're gonna play one, King of Fighters.
Okay, I'll probably just stick to more Neon Turf Masters. That's my game. I fucking love that game so much.
Bill, what's your favorite King of Fighters game? Just out of curiosity.
I love the one on PS4 that came out.
The new one.
So let me consult Game Eye so I can remember the titles.
You know what's crazy? I was just looking at it, Aaron. Primal Rage is not on the Jaguar. It's on the Jaguar CD exclusively.
So my favorite.
That is so crazy.
My favorite. Hey, if you go to Retro World, you can get that one for 1,300. Anyways, that might not even.
Off.
That might not even work because it was never been opened.
You get a lot of hookers at 1,300.
Yeah.
So my favorite King of
Fighters. Just
Fighters.
Get that really good Jaguar emulator.
My favorite King of Fighters. It's a toss up between I love 14 on PS4, but I also love King of Fighters Dream Match 99 on Dreamcast.
Okay, those are good ones. I just for the fun of it, I really like 98 and 2003, but mostly because those are the only ones I've played like the most. Let me make sure those are right. Let me look at the cover art real fast. King of Fighters 98. Yes, that is correct. Okay, yeah.
There's also the really awesome King of Fighters collection. I think it's on Wii and PS2, maybe. I know it's definitely on the Wii. That's the version I have.
Oh, and I was gonna say about Samurai Showdown on 3DO. It surprisingly uses the exact like the frame rate on the game, or like frame speed or whatever they call it. It's the same on the 3DO as it is on the arcade, which is super surprising. I don't know. I didn't know the 3DO was this fucking powerful, man. That's
I mean,
Yeah, the performance on Samurai Showdown I thought was like kind of on par with the port of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo as well. Like those games didn't have any crazy like frame slowdown, frame drops, nothing like that. They ran perfectly well. Which again, like a game like Way of the Warrior, which didn't really have slowdown, but you can tell it was kind of chunking along. So
Way of the Warrior is like, it is like, I swear to God, we're going to make a Mortal Kombat killer, and they sure made something.
Oh, it killed all right.
Look
I
up
would say
images for that game.
I would say
Whoa! Holy shit!
I would say it killed their career, but we know that's a lie because
Yeah,
I'm sure that studio went on to great things.
yeah, that they did.
The fighter select screen for Way of the Warrior is so stupid. There's just this one dude. What's his name? It's what I can't. This is too small to see. It's like the Bukin or like the Bob. What the fuck? What is this dude's name?
Fun fact: Naughty Dog co-founder Jason Rubin played 2 of those characters.
Oh man, I hope he got paid. I hope he got paid a pretty decent amount. What is this?
He paid to make this game.
I told the story on the episode, but like the funniest part about that was when they were filming the game, they filmed it in their apartment studio where the Naughty Dog was located at the time, and they just had these giant yellow like sheets on the walls to capture the digitized graphics, and all the neighbors thought they were filming some really weird porno.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, which character were you looking at, Aaron? Because I have the manual here.
His name is like the something. Let me look it up
the
again.
Ninja.
Because
we have the Ninja, Kanatori, Major Gains, Shaky Jake,
Major Gains.
I fucking love Major Gains.
Shaky Jake, the Dragon, Nikki-chan.
Oh, the Dragon is who I was talking about. Yeah, he's got his head like he's like, "What's up?" He's got his head like this far back.
He's totally the Liu Kang clone. Yeah, the Liu Kang clone.
Dude.
He is way too smug. Yeah, well, he does like a split kick jump, which is like kind of Liu Kang, kind of Johnny Cage.
The most memorable part of that game is the fact that the soundtrack is just White Zombie.
That's the only good part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess like real quick, I can go into a bit of the reception for this game for the 3DO port.
They all hated it.
It honestly didn't get as great reviews as I thought. Like EGM gave it a 38 out of 50. Famitsu gave it
terrible.
That's lame as hell.
Yeah, but they gave the Sega CD version a 30 out of 40.
And I guarantee you the Sega CD version does not run as well as this one.
No, I doubt
it. I can guarantee it.
Like none of the other console versions were nowhere near as like arcade perfect as the 3DO version was. Like literally every other console port except for the AES had like one or more things cut from it. The 3DO was the only one that had everything. So it's weird they would give it low scores compared to the fucking Sega CD version.
Even the AES was censored. Like the 3DO was like the first one to not be censored. The biggest complaint the 3DO version got was the load times. Like that was a recurring complaint throughout the reviews.
Yeah, but it was like such a common thing at the time. You think people wouldn't have worried so much about it, but
I think because we were still in that transition period where we were going from cartridges to CDs and people just weren't ready for it yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's some games with way worse load times than this one, but I mean, I see what you mean.
Any game on the Neo Geo CD.
The Atari Jaguar CD, if you got the thing to fucking work.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another fucking angry video game nerd thing. That's right.
Yeah, he
couldn't get it to
like
work.
Yeah, he bought 2, couldn't get either one to work. Talked to like a buddy of his who knows like electrical engineering, hardwired the thing to the console, and it still didn't work. which was funny. In fact, I know that guy who did the hardware thing. He made like the Nintoaster.
Yeah.
I think on YouTube his channel's Vomit Saw. He's actually come back after like a long absence, which is really cool. But then Spoony got the Jaguar CD to work when he did his review of the Highlander game for it.
The like only game on that thing that anyone mentions.
Yeah, that's like it's one of the few exclusive games for it. And he said he got the thing to barely work, and then like went into detail about it, how he was able to get it to work, because like it was so poorly designed that when you put the clamp down on the disc, it was so tight it would like the CD wouldn't spin.
They burned out the motors and it would just kill them. Like
yeah,
a lot of them were defect. A lot of them were defective in the box.
Yeah,
what the. What a piece of shit.
Well,
and it looks like a toilet too.
It does. That's my favorite part about it.
Look it up, Aaron. You'll see it.
The saddest part is the Jaguar itself is a well-made system. They just like rushed out the CD add-ons.
Whoa.
Because they thought that was like the future of gaming was the CD add-on. Because like Sega had one, NEC had one, Neo Geo had one. So they were just like, oh, we gotta. It's the thing now. I mean, Nintendo was making one, so
the Neo Geo didn't have a CD add-on. They just had a separate console that used CDs rather than.
Oh, I thought it was a CD add-on.
No, so it was essentially a cheaper alternative to the AES because the AES was like $200 per game.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the CD it was like $20 per game, but the load times were the big trade-off.
The console itself too, like the AES was, I think it was $800. Like 90s $800. So I think for the AES you could still do like you could buy adapters for basically for the arcade cartridges and all that shit, and even then that was still super fucking expensive.
It's actually cheaper just to buy a consoleized MVS.
Because wasn't the AES and like those cartridges, weren't they just like shoving the arcade board into a cartridge?
So the cartridges weren't the same. The arcade machines they were slightly different because they didn't want you to just buy the arcade cartridges and put them in the AES. But the system's hardware was identical otherwise.
Okay.
Because people have legitimately taken the guts out of one of the arcade cabinets and just stuck it in a console and been like, it's just a consoleized MVS. And it works.
If it works, it works. All that to play all the great SNK classics.
Ooh, like Shock Troopers. Listeners,
King of the Monsters.
King of the Monsters. That's fucking good. What was that one piece of shit we talked about, Thrak? Oh, Sengoku. Don't play Sengoku.
Oh yeah,
Sengoku.
because I didn't know how to emulate arcade ROMs. I know how to now, so I could probably play it now. But
SNK made
it's not good.
We should do Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Honestly, SNK made some really good stuff. Like I still think the Neo Geo Pocket Color had potential to actually be a good handheld.
It is a good handheld. There's a lot of really good games on it.
It was the first
version of Neo Turf Masters on there. Very good.
All the fighting games are really good.
The card game.
Yeah, the card game. Sonic Pocket Adventure.
That was good.
It had the games, but Neo Geo Pocket Color is another example of it takes more than just great games for a console to sell. Because, people always say, oh, just make great games and you'll sell. And it's like,
oh yeah,
it's been proven time and again that's not the fucking case.
What's crazy is
you need more.
The one caveat that the Pocket had was it was the only other handheld that had good battery life. Like the Neo Geo Pocket Color has like very good battery life on, I think it's only 2 AA's. Granted, it didn't have a backlit screen. It was one of the many consoles. It was one of the few consoles that didn't.
I think the Wonder Swan didn't either.
The Wonder Swan didn't as well, and that only ran off 1 AAA, I believe.
Yeah, and it was like more technically impressive than the Game Boy at the time.
It was basically it was weaker than the Game Boy Advance, but it was kind of like almost on par with it at the same time.
Yeah, because I played the Klonoa game on it, and it was pretty impressive.
And the Pocket Color could even connect to the Dreamcast, which was pretty fucking cool. Like no one ever saw that coming, but yeah, you connect that fucker to the Dreamcast and port some cool shit over.
The company that made Sonic Pocket Adventure was it was made by SNK, but the team that made it later spun off to become Dimps.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Which is hilarious because then they went on to make Street Fighter, which is kind of Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, Dimps are still in existence, right? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because Freedom Wars is getting a remaster. And that was their big game.
Oh, I always forget about. Okay,
Freedom Wars is getting a
that.
remaster. When did I not hear about this?
It was like one of those like things that was quietly announced and no one cared at the time, except for like the 3 people that care about Freedom Wars.
Well, because isn't that like the big Vita game?
It was the quote unquote attempted Vita killer app, and it came out way too late, and nobody cared. It was also such a weird idea for a game. Like you're in like a dystopian future, and like you have to like earn your freedom back.
Reminds me of there was another God Eater, the God Eater series. How it was like Monster Hunter, but you actually eat the monsters and shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool shit on the Vita.
Yes, there was.
Shit, they made Soul Calibur 6.
It was on Game Pass for I think it
they
was a couple of years ago.
They worked on Soul Calibur 6 with Bamco. What the fuck?
Oh,
what's hilarious about...
Dimps worked with Sega for a long time, and now they've just like retreated into a Bandai Namco hole.
What's hilarious is Dimps is a really good studio. They just get shit on because they made all the handheld Sonic games, which
but a lot of those are good.
They were good, but it's the later ones that. Well, it wasn't so much that the later ones were bad. It's just that a lot of their like, well, no, you know what it really is.
What ruined their reputation? Go ahead and say it.
Sonic 4.
Sonic 4, yeah.
Which
that's what ruined their reputation.
Wasn't even supposed to be Sonic 4. It was originally supposed to be like Sonic HD Adventures or something.
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna say Sonic Mania, and I would have been like, "Fuck off."
No, it was supposed to be just like this
Adventures.
It was supposed to be just like a cheap little like console thing, apparently, that like was just going to be like fun, and I guess like Sega saw it and was like, "Hey, that could be like new Super Mario Bros. Let's call it Sonic 4."
Yeah, I think Sonic 4. The only reason it was called that was because of like say the new Super Mario Brothers games, and I would argue Mega Man 9 as well.
Yeah,
because that came out around the same time. It was a big revival, and that was a big revival. So Sega probably saw like, oh, like all these classic revivals are happening. Let's do it with Sonic. Let's do like the modern revival.
Damn it.
And it didn't work. My Wii still has that game.
Just like me trying to mute that sneeze, it didn't work.
Well, we're fucked.
Fuck. This episode's fucked.
Scrap it. Start over.
This episode was off the rails, man.
Yes, it is. But we.
I'm sure.
To reel us back in. Must play. Okay, stay away. I'm gonna say it's a must play.
What do you think, Aaron?
I think it's a must play. It's the best console version of the game, and it's a pretty fucking unique fighting game. Like if you're a fighting game enthusiast and you have a 3DO, must play.
I would say must play as well for somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with SNK games in general, and who isn't the best at fighting games. I found myself, having a good time with this and kind of getting into it, and I could see myself playing more of this in the future. And it's a surprisingly really well done port by Crystal Dynamics of all people. Yeah. And yeah, it's a game that shows that the 3DO was a lot more capable than what people kind of associate with the console. I mean, I think Super Street Fighter 2 does that as well, but this is one of those slightly lesser known examples. But yeah, like for an introduction to the series for me, like this is probably a good starting point, I'd say.
Oh yeah. Like the way I see it is if you're not a Street Fighter guy, but you really want to play an old school fighter, this is probably the way to go because this game is equally as good.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, if people are, if you're into the classic fighting games, but say like Street Fighter's not doing it for you anymore and like Mortal Kombat's too whatever for you because the fighting game community tends to be kind of iffy with Mortal Kombat. Like I feel like the SNK fighters are kind of the way to go. So.
Yeah, something less mainstream. Like people have played Street Fighter, especially 2, just hours and hours into that goddamn game. We're bound to get fucking burnt out on that fucking thing. For something that's much less known than Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or even like Fatal Fury. Yeah, go play Samurai Shodown. If not this, go play one of the other games in the series because they're all pretty good. They just keep refining them and making them even better.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so that was another awesome episode.
Yeah.
So I guess to wrap things up, do we have a idea for a game for next week, or are we gonna think about that and we'll get back to everyone later?
Did you have anything you wanted to do?
Nothing at the moment. I was kind of debating whether we do a game or maybe we take a break and do like another company retrospective or something in between.
I'd be fine with taking a break, yeah. But do you want to pick a game for like say to give like 2 weeks to?
Yeah, maybe we could do that. I think I picked this one. Did you have an idea for a game by any chance?
Well, I'm looking at the list. There's a lot of interesting ones here. I don't know why, but Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes is sticking out to me.
Okay, I'll have to. Well, I can either try and find a copy of that, or I can emulate it.
Yeah, I think it's an adventure game. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll probably do a company retrospective next week, and then we'll cover Sherlock Holmes after that. We'll TBA on what company. We'll have to think about it. But in the meantime, guys, once again, thank you for joining us on the 3DO Experience. The 3DO Experience can be found on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check out the SuperPod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com. Awesome website. The boss man is here this time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can find a whole bunch.
You're gonna glaze him up. What the hell are you doing?
Find a whole bunch of awesome shows over there. Oh, he hasn't seen my other thing I've added since. A whole bunch of awesome shows, bunch of blogs, bunch of videos, and you can find a whole bunch of other great shows such as SuperPod Saga, Super Ghost Radio,
cool.
Retro Rehab, Tommy's Video Game Ride Along, A Novel Console. Maybe it'll come back someday. Bar Silence.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
The Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast, Remember 64, Gaming Together, Friday Night Gamecast, and then, of course, toot my own horn, Gaming and Collecting, 3DO Experience, and Geek Addicts. But once again, guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
I'm streaming on Thursday. Bye-bye.
Oh, right. Yeah. Thrax stream. One of these, I got to add a Thrax stream thing in here now, too.
There you go. Yeah. But yes, I'll be streaming more Genesis games on Thursday. I have the games all lined up. It should be a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Twitch link is down there, and it will be in the description of the video. And with that, everybody, we'll see you. Yeah. We're off the rails.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?